The more you open up, the more people may try to hurt you. Unfortunately, that's a reality. Some people genuinely seem to take pleasure in the suffering of others, or even contribute to making it worse. Behaviors like sadism and envy are more present around us than we might think, and they can significantly hinder our personal growth, whether at work, among friends, or even within our families. That's why learning to show your weaknesses can actually become one of your greatest strengths. Imagine yourself as a tree in the middle of a storm. The leaves may shake, the branches may sway, but the trunk remains firm, deeply rooted in the ground. This is the kind of silent strength we need to cultivate. What we're aiming for here is exactly that, to be like a tree, resilient against the storms of life. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger, so that even amidst chaos, you stand tall. You don't deny the storm, but you choose not to let the rain soak you or the wind knock you down. Today, we're going to learn how to manage our destiny, to be firm, strong, and calm in the midst of chaos. In this video, we'll discuss 14 Stoic principles inspired by the teachings of the great Epictetus. Moreover, I'll invite you to reflect on how true strength doesn't come from noise, but from silence. In the next few minutes, focus on the content and leave distractions behind. Let's begin. First principle: overcome guilt and avoid hatred. People with a limited perspective tend to blame others. Common people blame themselves. But the truly wise understand that blaming oneself or others is a useless exercise. Epictetus teaches us that guilt is an emotion that needs to be removed from our lives. To overcome guilt, we need to stop playing its game. Blaming others or ourselves is an easy way to avoid taking responsibility for fixing our own mistakes. Avoiding guilt is a challenge, but it's also an opportunity for growth. Instead of getting stuck in cycles of guilt, we need to accept our mistakes, learn from them, and move forward. This principle teaches us to overcome guilt and, at the same time, avoid hatred. When someone attacks you, tries to belittle you, or discriminates against you, remember, your time is too precious to be wasted on resentment. By ignoring these attacks, you become immune to this type of negativity. Second principle: embrace failure as a path to progress. Many times we do everything we can to avoid mistakes and to not appear foolish. But Epictetus offers us a different perspective. One of the best things that can happen is to make mistakes and look foolish. That's because failure is the real path to personal and professional growth. Victory doesn't come from an instant reaction, but is the result of a long process of trial and error. When we accept failure as part of learning, we open ourselves up to risk and challenges. This mindset helps us face our goals with determination and continue evolving. Failure isn't the end, but rather an opportunity to improve what separates us from perfection. Third principle: beware of the dangers of luck. The pursuit of success and money can bring hidden risks. When we achieve something many desire, like wealth, we find out it's not the end of the journey but the start of new challenges. People suddenly appear pretending to be friends, trying to take advantage of us. And money itself can change us, pulling us away from our values and principles. Epictetus warns us about the dangers of putting all our hopes in a single goal or resource. Human nature needs variety, and focusing exclusively on one objective can be risky. We should diversify our dreams and aspirations, seeking a balance between material prosperity and moral integrity. Fourth principle: practice humility as the foundation for learning. Epictetus teaches us that to truly learn, we need to be willing to question what we think we already know. The more pride we take in our knowledge, the further we distance ourselves from true wisdom. Humility is what allows us to keep learning throughout life. When we keep an open mind and a curious spirit, like that of a child, we allow ourselves to see the world with fresh eyes. This principle reminds us of the importance of recognizing that there is always something to learn, and that personal growth only occurs when we're humble enough to admit that we don't know everything. Fifth principle: listen more than you speak. Have you ever wondered why we have 2 ears but only 1 mouth? This is no coincidence. We should listen to others more than we speak. By listening more, we learn more. When we're too focused on the sound of our own voice, we miss the opportunity to grow. This principle reminds us to wisely choose whom we listen to. We need to surround ourselves with people whose opinions and experiences can truly add value to our personal development. Sixth principle: connect with successful people. It's interesting how we quickly distance ourselves from people when they're sick, fearing we might catch their illness. However, we don't often show the same caution when it comes to negative or toxic people who can contaminate our minds and spirits. Epictetus gives us valuable advice. We should surround ourselves with people who inspire us to be better. Just as some people can drag us down, others can lift us up. Being around people who share positive values and encourage us to grow is one of the wisest decisions we can make. This helps us stay focused on what matters, while nurturing our enthusiasm and joy for life. Seventh principle: your reactions determine your destiny. Epictetus teaches us that we can't control everything that happens in our lives, but we can control how we react to those situations. Our reactions have a direct impact on our success or failure. Everyone goes through difficult times, but how we respond to those moments is what defines our journey. This principle invites us to take control of our emotions and face adversity with resilience. Instead of letting ourselves be brought down, we can turn these challenges into opportunities for growth. Our life is defined not by the problems we face, but by how we choose to deal with them. Eighth principle: always fulfill your responsibilities. Every person has a unique role in the world. The sun doesn't need to be praised to rise every morning. It simply fulfills its function. In the same way, every element of nature has its role, and we must do the same. This principle reminds us of the importance of acting out of duty, not in search of recognition. When we fulfill our responsibilities with the understanding that our work impacts the collective, we find a greater purpose in our actions. The goal here isn't to seek applause or rewards, but to contribute to a greater good, something that provides us with a deeper sense of fulfillment. Ninth principle: value simplicity and practice self-examination. We live in an age of excessive consumption, where luxury and extravagance are often seen as goals. However, Epictetus reminds us that true wealth lies in simplicity. Simplicity doesn't mean giving up comfort, but rather reorganizing our priorities, focusing on what really matters. By embracing a simpler life, we free ourselves from the pressure of maintaining appearances and status. This not only reduces stress, but also allows us to focus our energy on meaningful experiences, such as relationships, learning, and personal growth. Self-examination, in turn, helps us stay focused on what's truly important, allowing us to live more consciously and intentionally. 10th principle: cultivate self-control and emotional resilience. In our daily lives, we often face words and actions that can shake our emotional balance. Epictetus teaches us that we hold the key to controlling our reactions. When we allow the words or attitudes of others to affect us, we are essentially handing over control of our emotional well-being to them. This principle teaches us to build a healthy barrier against external negativity. This doesn't mean we should isolate ourselves or become insensitive, but rather that we should filter what truly deserves our attention and what we should ignore. When we master this, we become more resilient and capable of maintaining our inner peace, regardless of the circumstances. 11th principle: overcome the fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown is one of the oldest and most deeply rooted emotions in humans. However, Stoic philosophy teaches us to see this fear as an opportunity for growth. Epictetus said that we should not fear what may happen, because often it is the unknown that provides us with the greatest lessons. Overcoming this fear makes us more flexible and prepared for the inevitable changes in life. Instead of fleeing from uncertainty, we should embrace it, seeing it as a chance to learn something new about the world and ourselves. The unknown is not an enemy, but a field of possibilities. 12th principle, make the most of any circumstance. Epictetus teaches us that no matter what happens, we always have the choice of how to respond to situations. Imagine, for example, that on a typical day, you receive the news that you've lost your job. Instead of falling into despair, this could be the perfect opportunity to start something new, something you've always wanted to do, but never had the courage to begin. This principle encourages us to see challenges as opportunities for growth. By adopting this mindset, we begin to view difficulties not as barriers, but as stepping stones to a more prosperous and meaningful future. 13th principle, prepare for the worst. One of the main causes of anxiety is the fear of what might happen in the future. We worry about our children, our jobs, our relationships, and even financial issues. Epictetus teaches that by mentally preparing ourselves for the worst possible scenario, we become better equipped to handle whatever comes our way, without being caught off guard. This doesn't mean we should be pessimistic, but rather realistic. By accepting that adversities may happen and being prepared for them, we can face challenges with more confidence and resilience, reducing the emotional impact these situations might otherwise have. 14th principle, focus on what you can control and accept what you cannot. This is one of the most well-known Stoic teachings. Focus your energy on the things you can control and calmly accept those that are beyond your reach. Often, we emotionally exhaust ourselves by trying to control what isn't in our hands, whether it's the opinions of others, the outcomes of our efforts, or even the circumstances of life. Stoic wisdom reminds us that what is within our control are our actions, our choices, and our reactions. By focusing our energy on these areas, we find more peace and satisfaction, knowing that we did our best given the conditions we were handed. These 14 Stoic principles, based on the teachings of Epictetus, offer a practical path to a more balanced and fulfilled life. Applying them in our daily lives helps us develop not only emotional strength, but also the wisdom necessary to face adversity with calm and resilience. Thank you for watching. I hope you continue this journey of learning and growth with us, applying these principles and discovering a new level of inner strength. Until the next video, and remember, true strength lies in staying calm during life's storms.